and my cat. I'm going to do rapid fire questions for my family. So we'll kind of just go in a circle, I guess. Alex.
Yep.
What is your favorite book?
How to Be a Leader by Simon Sinek.
Why?
Teaches you how to be a leader. It's important.
But what have you learned from it that has taught you about being a leader that you didn't already know?
Talks about how a leader's committed and a leader should be loyal, and you don't really consider that when you think about being a leader a lot of times. Like a boss of a company, you think of just being kind of like a mean old man. You don't think about being like a loyal friend to your employees.
Okay.
There's a lot of things in it. Simon Sinek's a genius.
Okay. Cameron, what about you?
What's my favorite book?
Yep.
Oh man, I got a lot. I got many that I read, but probably the one that's probably been the most influential in my life is called A Leader's Journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's written by numerous authors, but what a leader's journey is, it teaches you how to differentiate yourself from society and the people that you're leading, kind of like on the same bounds of what Alex is talking about.
Okay.
On a spiritual level. But what's the beauty behind that book is it like teaches you how to learn about yourself, and so how do you, what makes you tick, what your weaknesses, what your strengths. It goes all the way down to like your birth order and how that affects your personality.
Your birth order?
Yep.
What does that mean?
Like I was the third born.
Okay.
You were the first born. You know.
Okay.
Alex was the second born. You know.
Like birthright type issues?
Sort of, yeah. And so how, like, what those particular birth orders, what that brings about.
Okay.
And so there's that, and then how you lead as a leader. And so a leader's journey is probably been the one that's been kind of most influential in my life on a leadership standpoint. So.
Cool.
Can you expand a little bit on the birth order thing? I know we're doing rapid fire questions, but now I'm kind of curious.
Me?
What does that have to? Yeah, what does birth order have to do with
anything?
anything?
So like the firstborn normally is like the parents have a lot more strict rules towards. So like for Olivia, for example, like you can kind of see like Michelle and Scott have had much more hard rules for her, and then it kind of got more relaxed as you came along, and then Francie, and then Ella, and then now of course all the way down to Georgia. It's just like she's playing with screws. Who cares, you know? Yeah. But so like the firstborn, of course, psychology and sociology tells us that like they're a lot more dominant, and they're like more strong-willed than all the rest, and then the lastborn is more like relaxed. And so I mean, me and Jack, for example, like we compare me and Jack to, compare Jack to you, Drew.
Yeah.
And so, like, just his personality is, like, a lot more easygoing, and, like, it
just
is
has
it
no
is,
ambition whatsoever.
Whatever.
Just kidding.
How much more love he has from your mother.
And then the middle child, of course, has, if there is a middle child, has more of a, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I'm kind of floating. And so there's a lot more in that book than birth order, but kind of that's one thing that I liked.
That's cool.
Especially for me, kind of trying to figure out where I fit between two very strong-willed siblings.
You know what? So. Well, what's weird about that though is that, like, when I think of you being the third born, my mom was also the third born as well. So it's like putting you two in kind of the same category. Like, you guys are clearly different.
Yeah.
But it's still like watching you guys both operate. I guess it might be more to male to female type deal.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more gender related too.
Yeah, at that point, because even Gracie, like, Gracie's the middle child, and she does kind of float around, but she's still way different than me and Jack are.
Yeah.
And she focuses on her schoolwork, and she got a $17,000 scholarship. She's literally the smartest person in our family, and she does that because she, like, mentally wills herself to do that.
Yeah.
But that is interesting.
Yeah.
Jack, I know you just learned how to read last year, but what is your favorite book?
I'm gonna say Great Expectations.
Okay. What'd you like?
Is that by Charles
book?
Dickens?
Yeah,
I think so. Well, the only reason, okay, to be honest, I don't read a lot, obviously, but the only reason I said that is because, like, the project we did, we got to, like, see what, like, we, like, did this thing where we took a test on a computer and it like gave us what job we'd most likely be, and that was kind of cool.
What
was yours?
I think I got counselor.
You'd be a counselor?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Do you like the thought of that?
I got counselor and then teacher. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think? I don't know. Like, if somebody told you that you were going to be a teacher, would you like to think the thought of that?
Right now, no. Just because I'd have to go back to school, but...
What would your dream job be?
I have no clue. Being a coach would be kind of cool, but...
Gamer.
Did you like that book, or did you hate that book?
I didn't... I mean, okay, like, I don't really like reading, but, like, if there was a book that... I liked it because what we did with it.
Right. So like, just like the project and everything?
Yeah, and, like, sort of how it showed what you, like... what your strengths were through that, I guess you could say.
Okay. Cool.
What about you?
My favorite book was The Great Gatsby.
Ooh, great book.
Yeah.
Great Gatsby.
Reason being is there was a part of me that just thought it was really cool. For one, how Louisville, Kentucky was referenced in it. You know the Brown Hotel downtown?
Yeah.
That's actually in the book. So that's a cool part of it. But then also a part that I really enjoyed was how he essentially lost the girl at the beginning of the book, but he never forgot about her, and he literally just fought and clawed his way into becoming like somebody successful, like who he wanted to be. And he literally, instead of like pleading for her to remember the good times and come back, he decided to chisel himself into a person that was just so overwhelmingly like the man that he wanted to be, that it attracted her.
Yeah.
You know, even though he essentially still lost in the end.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where it was like, I don't know, there was a part of that I really admired.
Yeah.
But I liked all the symbolism in it too. The symbolism was really heavy for me. And actually, ever since I read that book, I really take time to look at the symbolism in anything that I read or watch.
Speaking of symbolism, you remember when we walked out of A Star Is Born in Sanibel?
Yes.
And like, I was like, that's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
You guys were talking so much smack.
And everybody loved it except for me, but the problem was, like, Drew was like, dude, just the symmetry between the players and the characters, and this is so great.
I did a whole synopsis on that thing, and it was seriously...
Within 5 minutes of leaving the movie...
I thought about relationships for the next 2 months because of that movie.
Well, Bradley Cooper's a genius, for one, because that movie has been remade 5 times. For one, did you all know that?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
That movie has been remade 5 times. That story has been around since like the 20s. A Star Is Born. It's a book, and it's been around since the 20s, and they've made it into movies. That's like the 5th remake. But he had his own take on it and everything. But he was just essentially capturing like the essence of like today's modern relationship and all the problems that could like come with it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about when people get into relationships nowadays. One of the first things they want to do is they want to post about it. They want you to know how good their life is. Right. So the second they do that, they are letting outside factors come in between their relationship with that significant other.
Yeah.
And then it begins to chisel away at them.
Yeah.
It begins to chip away at who they are.
Yeah.
Or just trying to maintain that image.
Right, but if like if people met on a deserted island or something and they didn't have to deal with the rest of the world, nowadays people would have much better relationships than they do now, because what they think is that the outside world gets to have a say in the way your relationship is with that other person. So with Bradley Cooper's alcoholism, with Lady Gaga's like thirst for stardom and her self-loathing of her own physical features, it got in between them because they let the world do that. And it eventually chipped away at them, but there's a lot more that I have to say about that. But that was my initial synopsis of like, this is a perfect example of like today's relationships and how most of them either thrive or are destroyed by the opinion of the outside world.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But moving into that, my next question is, what is y'all's favorite movie, Alex? And it can be top 3. Like,
it come back to me. Let me think, because I don't watch movies a lot.
Top 3 favorite movies, Cameron.
Wow. Okay. Number 1. Are we gonna do TV shows after this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. Number 1 would have to be the Titanic.
That's kind of weird.
No. I know. This is purely subjective.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously. Okay. And so number 1 is Titanic. Reason being is because I love history, and actually knew somebody that was on the Titanic. So boom.
You knew somebody?
Well, my grandmother knew someone who was on the Titanic.
Oh, okay.
So I was like a secondary figure.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I like it. But number 2, gosh, you're trying to make me choose 3.
Real quick though, did your grandmother ever say who she knew?
Jon Snow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the Jon Snow?
He survived though. Yeah. He got out.
Yeah.
With the dragon.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right. No, she never told me, but she actually told me about her friend who was on the Titanic, and then she was only like 10 when it happened, and so it's kind of interesting that I was connected to somebody that was part of that part of history. So there's that. For me, number 2 would probably be this is kind of together is Rumor of the Titans or Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
Love those. And then probably number 3 would be Nacho Libre.
Nacho. Your son. You gave your son a Nacho Libre themed birthday party.
Dude, he wanted it.
Which I commend you for.
Yeah.
Thank you for not just being like the typical dad.
Yeah. Olivia wanted to do Where Wild Things Are and call it a Wild One birthday. It would have been cute, but it wouldn't have been good, just truthfully.
No.
So.
No, I'm glad you took over on that.
Everybody had a great time.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah, you like the football movies though, don't you?
Oh, it's great, dude. Love them. Every one of them.
I don't think that...
except for Facing the Giants.
Since you asked if we're going to talk about TV shows, I would ask that you don't compare Friday Night Lights, the TV show, to the movie.
No,
I think
they're not comparable, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say there. But
Jackie,
Jack,
you're up.
Top 3 movies.
Oh, he's got the answers.
I like Avatar.
Great movie.
Good movie.
Then I actually just saw this one recently. Us.
Oh, with Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was like freakishly good.
Yeah.
And then third one, couldn't really think of one, so I'll just say Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
I liked it better than Endgame.
Ooh. Why?
A lot more like action packed.
Yeah.
In my
I
opinion.
definitely agree with that.
Infinity War kind of keeps you on your the
Yeah.
edge of your seat.
Endgame was I mean, it was interesting if you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I can tell like there was some like I went and saw it with a group of people, and like some people didn't have a clue what was going on, and it was just really boring for them.
Yeah.
But, like,
Endgame was made for the true fans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
who
like
had watched all of it.
yeah.
Which,
Only one.
by the way, they made a DVD set of every Marvel movie
Oh wow.
that you can buy.
Did they?
Yes.
I bet it's like $10,000.
It's some truckload of money, but it's crazy.
All right, I got my movies now.
Okay.
I just have 2.
Okay.
Actually. And you're gonna think I'm a child. So number 1, I think I'm gonna go with Blind Side. If you remember that movie.
That's a great
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
sure why,
That's
but I really love that movie.
I like that
It's a good
movie. I like that movie.
And then Kicking and Screaming.
No, you
No.
don't.
No, I'm not
No,
kidding.
you
It's not a joke. Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell is one of the funniest movies that's ever been made, and that is not a joke. If you and right up there with Elf, but I don't like holiday movies if it's not around the holidays.
Why do you think Kicking and Screaming is one of the funniest movies?
I don't know what it is, Drew, but
Dude, even funnier than Step Brothers?
to me, Kicking and Screaming is funnier than Step Brothers, but Step Brothers is really funny. 21 Jump Street is also very funny.
Dang.
I don't know why, but Will Ferrell and Kicking and Screaming, I don't know, just the humor in that is.
It really was one of his.
Dude, they don't make movies like that anymore.
Yeah,
they
I
really
know.
don't.
Like watching it now, it's a lot tackier than when I was a kid. Kind of like slapping the stinkers.
They really don't. Yeah, they really just beat that dead horse with comedy movies now.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's very sexualized.
Yes, and just over the top. Like they're just trying to like top the joke that they did last time when it's like just go in a different direction.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you a rapid fire question, Drew.
Yeah.
Wait. I want to hear his movies.
Yeah.
Because he's like
right.
the
You're right.
king.
That's probably why you asked the question.
Forrest Gump is my number one favorite movie. Interstellar after that.
I knew
That
you'd
is a
like
good
that one.
movie.
And then
So long.
it's either the Lord of the Rings series or
Lion King.
no.
Lion King, dude.
That's Drew's movie. He could
I'm
quote
surprised.
that.
I mean, I
every
can
single
quote that movie. I love that movie, but it's like if I want to sit down on a rainy day and watch a movie, I'm gonna watch. I think it'll probably be Lord of the Rings or Troy or Gladiator. I really
Troy.
just.
Troy's a great movie.
Troy's a great movie.
I think the question you asked is kind of biased because there's so many movies that I've watched that are like so good that you can't narrow them down to just three.
Oh, what am I
like
talking
if you do
about?
Comedy, history.
Split. I
I've never seen that
love
movie.
You
Split.
like that one that much?
I love Split.
No, it's good, but like top 3 ever.
Yeah, in all honesty, because the acting, the story, and the universe it played in was superb to me.
Okay, if we were realistic here. Okay,
Yeah.
And we were actually saying the top 3 of all time, we
Yeah.
would probably say Lord of the Rings, probably Return of the King.
For sure.
Actually, number one is Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Avatar. Number 3 is Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 would probably be some type of Godfather movie.
Are those the ones that?
What
like,
about?
Are those the ones that like make the most money?
Yes, make the most money, but at the same
Okay.
time, are like the most loved. But then you got Shawshank Redemption. You've got Green Mile.
Shawshank Redemption.
What about
It's a
cinematic?
freaking great
It's
movie.
I watched it.
What
yeah.
about cinematic universes?
Oh, Marvel, hands down. dude.
Marvel's number one, but
Yeah.
then it's like it's either Star Wars or
Star
Harry
Wars?
Potter.
Yeah, that's what I
Star
was
Wars,
thinking.
Harry Potter, Lord of the
Star Wars
Rings.
and Harry Potter.
But like, is Star Wars second or third?
I think Star
Second.
Wars second.
I would say second, yeah.
Especially even after this most recent one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's bigger than Harry Potter, to be honest with you.
it's gotta be.
Okay.
One, it's been around longer, and 2, like, you just gotta imagine, dude, the following that Star Wars has.
It's like Die Hard.
You still think? So you definitely think Marvel's one?
Oh,
No
yeah,
question.
dude, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Far and ahead. Do you think DC will
No.
just
No.
ever make any headway?
What are they gonna do now that they?
They just came
they
out with a
ended
new one.
Avengers?
I saw it.
Shazam.
Trailer. No.
So the new one
thought-
is
I thought Shazam.
Shazam,
Yeah.
and so they're like.
So I don't know anything about this.
forming-
He's a new superhero.
Well,
no, he's not like a new superhero. It's just a new superhero movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in the comics even before, like he was in there before like the rest of them, like almost before Superman.
Wow.
Yeah, he was one of the first. But it was, I just don't know what they're gonna do because
Yeah.
Henry Cavill is gone and
Ben
Ben
Affleck's
Affleck
gone.
is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's all messed
But
up.
I would say this, though, like, DC is in a very volatile state right now. And
Pull that
so
sucker up to you.
and so is Marvel.
Pull that microphone up to you.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so is Marvel. You know, Marvel. Where the heck are they going to go after Endgame?
Yeah.
You know, like, how are you going to top that?
Secret Wars.
I mean, they could do that, but you know,
And
we're
I
talking-
think
dude, we're
it's
getting
going to
really
have
nerdy
to do
here,
with
but
either Galactus or Doctor Doom.
if they bring in Doctor Doom, you know, the Fantastic Four is coming into it.
For sure. And I hope they cast John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. That's all I have to say about that. I just think he's fantastic.
He just needs to stay in the office.